So I just got back from the grocery store where all I bought was one $3 movie. And I could definitely feel some people judging me as I did it, especially the cashier. When I got to the register, she kind of smirked a bit as she was ringing it through. Definitely thinking, why is this guy buying a movie from the grocery store and only a movie? I thought about buying a bag of chips to, kind of even it out, or just anything, but no, just a movie. Well, technically, 3 movies. I bought $3 movies, and I got it from that rack in the grocery store. I don't know if you see that, where there's just a bunch of just bargain movies. Nobody even ever glances at it. It just sits there. And anytime it gets lower, I feel like nobody even bought a movie. I think they just take some movies, put them in the back, so it looks like people have bought them, but nobody really has, except for me, because I'm weird like that. How's it going, everybody? Dylan Fleury here with a show called Bargain Bin Movie Reviews, where I go to any type of store, grocery store, dollar store, any place that'll have, convenience store that'll have those really cheap movies. I'm going to buy them. I'm going to review them. Right now I'm buying just the $3 ones from the grocery store, and that means that I'll be looking at Christian Slater in Kuffs, which, already an amazing title, spelled with a K. He has a K on his shirt, so I feel like that plays into it somehow. Kuffs. Who needs experience when you have attitude? So I guess he's a cop. He has a gun, but he's in high school. He's probably a cop in high school, kind of like 21 Jump Street, but he's actually of age. I don't know. Maybe the football team experience helps him be a good cop. Anyways, let's just read wow. So the back, for the description, there's 3 paragraphs, which is really rare. Usually a movie just has one just to give you an idea of what it is, but I don't know, let's look at this whole thing. Christian Slater stars in this non-stop action comedy. George Kuffs, of course his name's Kuffs, is a restless young man who wants to make the big score, but when his beautiful girlfriend begins to get serious, George decides it's time to move on. So he's a man who wants to rob a bank or something, but when his girlfriend wants to get serious, okay. Approaching his older brother Brad for a loan, George receives a job proposal instead. Join Brad's well-regarded patrol special team. What is a patrol special team? Is he a cop? It's like a branch of... Okay. Not real keen on the idea, George nonetheless becomes the new owner of the business when Brad is heartlessly gunned down in the line of duty. Soon George finds himself battling a crime spree in his district with a surly police partner. Out to avenge his brother, George closes in on a crooked art dealer who's trying to wrestle the district away from him. Oh wow. Breakneck action meets slapstick comedy with a hip score by Harold Faltermeyer in this high-powered adventure. Alright, I feel like they already gave quite a bit away. I already know that his brother dies and he becomes the leader of the patrol special team. I feel like the first paragraph would have been fine, but whatever. Came out in 1992. Never heard of this movie before. Wasn't a big Christian Slater fan. So I guess the who needs experience part, yeah, he joins the patrol team. And I think he must be in high school. Or he just always wears his Letterman jacket like a cool guy does. Anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna go watch Kuffs now. And gonna come back and I'm gonna let you know what I thought. So I just finished watching Kuffs, and yeah, it was okay. It's one of those movies that you watch where after you finish watching it, you just think, yeah, that was a movie. It was a bunch of scenes shrunk together to make a somewhat coherent story. Nothing really crazy happened. It wasn't something I'd want to rush and tell anybody about. Something I'd recommend. It just was, yeah. It was Kuffs. So what I'm going to do is just quickly run through, I guess, all the important moments from the movie. Anything that might have been, interesting, something you should know, something that I thought was funny or crazy or weird. And then you can decide, after hearing all that, whether or not you want to watch Kuffs. So here are the moments hopefully in order, of things that you should know about Kuffs. I'm going to stop saying Kuffs, hopefully. So first off, great name, Kuffs. What a great name for a movie. So the movie starts off with just a dancing scene with Christian Slater and Mila Djokovic, with some music playing. They're dancing in their apartment, and he has on no shirt and sweatpants, and she has on a crop top and underwear, but they're both wearing sunglasses inside, which just really bugged me. They're wearing sunglasses dancing, but then they kind of go around the corner, and then when they come back, they don't have it on, the sunglasses, which, yeah, it just bugged me too. He talks to the camera the entire time, which is weird. It's like a Ferris Bueller thing, but it just does not really fit the tone of the movie. Anyways, so I guess spoiler alert, but it's on the back of the cover, so it can't really be a spoiler alert. George's brother dies. It happens because George's brother, before every shift, goes into the church to pray. So while he's doing that, George is outside making a phone call, a payphone. And then back in the church, gunman comes, sees George's brother, tells him he should have taken the pay, shoots him a few times. George hears outside, runs in. As he comes in, the guy is standing over his brother, sees George, drops the gun, and runs off. Just leaves his gun there for some reason. George's brother is on a gurney going into the hospital, and he looks up at George and says, "Help me, George."
Help me, George. Help me.
Like George can do something in that situation. I feel like he should be talking to the paramedics, but yeah. Well, anyways, George doesn't help. Neither the paramedics. He dies. There's a scene where he's driving in the back of a cab and just randomly hear dog bark.
See
They clearly didn't edit that out. They did. I don't know if they caught it or not. I almost didn't caught it at first. I was like, was that my TV or was that outside? No, it was the movie. They left in the dog bark. Didn't really feel like editing that out, I guess. So his first case as this special operations guy is to stop a jumper who's on the ledge of a building. So he goes in, tries to talk to the guy. Doesn't really work. He does the whole, well, if you're going to jump, just jump. Which kind of seems like it wins the guy over. He starts to shuffle his way back in. So George is waiting for him. And the guy kind of like pokes his head into the window, and the exchange they have is, I feel like I'm just gonna say it as like back and forth through the entire exchange, because that's the best way to experience it. So she's gonna start off with the jumper on the ledge, and it's gonna go to George, and then jumper back and forth. It's not very long. This is it. This is the scene. You a cop? Hi. Die.
You cop.
Hey.
Die.
He shoots him and then kills himself. Yeah. And the worst part is they're like eye level pretty much at this point. And when he shoots him, he shoots like down, so the gun, instead of going straight at him, like the bullet goes down and hits him like in his like solar plexus, I think. I don't know. I took HK, so I'll say that's like the hip area. But it's not like he was like falling and then shot him. He just shot him like shooting down for some reason. But anyways, yeah, very strange exchange, strange scene. At the time I was thinking, oh, this is gonna come back, right? It's probably, the bad guys probably hired this guy to do like a murder-suicide thing, shoot George, kill yourself, so there's no loose ends, nothing that can tie us back to us. But then you find out later on from George himself that the guy who shot him was just some writer who tried to kill himself twice already, and just this was the time he did it. Yeah, that's it. So I don't know why it's in the movie. I don't know why it's important to have. It's no ties to it at all. It's just the most ridiculous, but I think it makes it even better maybe. I don't know. That was the highlight of the movie, was definitely that scene. So George doesn't want to deal with any cases. He just wants to catch the guy who kills his brother, but his partner doesn't want him to do that. So he decides to drug his partner with a bunch of sleeping pills, and he puts like 6 of them in his cup. And then after his partner drinks it, he starts to act more like he took bath salts than he did sleeping pills. He's like running down the stairs and he stops. He's like doing all these faces and he's like falling over. It's like very, I guess, slapsticky, as you would say from the back. That's the slapstick that comes from the movie. Slapstick, stick. There's a scene where Christian Slater and Mila Djokovic decide to do something they'd never done before. So they go and get tattoos, and then they show each other's tattoos, but we don't see what their tattoos are, which I just don't know if either it was no budget thing, they couldn't afford to get fake tattoos or something, or just creatively they forgot they wrote that in and they're like, oh shit, yeah, we don't know what we're gonna get, alright, well, whatever, just we won't show the audience. Kind of makes the whole scene pointless, but whatever. One of the bad guys ends up revealing that George never got his high school diploma, which is necessary to run the district, and this means that he lied on his application, I guess. I call this the Suits conundrum, the Suits theory. The fact that people don't have an education to work these jobs, but nobody really looks into it, and they just take their word for it, which never happens. That makes no sense. You'd have to, it's such an easy thing to look into, but nobody does. I mean, in Suits he does. The whole base is that nobody, if somebody finds out they're gonna get in shit and then a bunch of people find out nothing happens, then I guess he finally went to jail and stopped watching Suits. The show was dumb. But anyway, so he failed. So he gets, not only does he lose his job, but he gets arrested, and then as he's brought to the police station, he asks the guy who's arresting him, "Let me go to the bathroom." And the guy's like, yeah, sure, fine. Undoes his cuffs, and then just lets him go by himself. The bathroom's on another level. He doesn't follow him, doesn't wait outside. He just lets him go. So what does he do? He goes upstairs instead and gets a dog and then leaves. Nobody notices, I guess. And he gets the dog because he wants the dog to sniff out crime, basically. It's basically the dog version of the Dolph Lundgren character from It's Always Sunny's script for Mac and Charlie. It smells crime.
What if he can smell crime?
What if he smells crime?
This dog literally smells crime, because at the end, instead of sniffing drugs or anything, the dog sniffs out paintings that this guy's been stealing. This guy steals a bunch of paintings and then he resells them for a lot of money. And the dog sniffed that out. So he literally sniffed out crime. Unless there was maybe something with the paint. I don't know. I don't know a lot about paintings, but yeah, no. I'm just going to go with the basis that this is a crime sniffing dog. So after George finds the paintings, the bad guys show up and they point guns at him and tie him up to a chair and put a bomb there. And George is screwed because he can't get out and the dog can't get out. And then his partner shows up because George tried to get him to help him out later, but he wouldn't help him. I don't know how the partner knew where to go, but he ends up showing up, but he can't get in and he can't see George, and George can't contact him because his mouth is taped. So George gets the dog to howl. The dog starts howling, and his partner, instead of just being like, oh, dog's howling, he starts saying, George?
George?
As if the dog is somehow George, and that makes him decide to go through the window in the back and helps him escape before the bomb goes off. And he's like, I knew I heard a dog.
I knew I heard a dog.
What does that have to do with his partner? I have no idea. His car gets set on fire, and he starts screaming out that it's melting, which I've never heard anybody say when their car gets on fire. They don't go, it's melting. They just say, it's on fire. This guy was just pretty adamant that his car was melting.
The car is melting! It's melting!
There's this great shootout scene where we got George and his partner meet up with the bad guys on the roof, and there's like 6 or 7 of them, and George and his partner just have shotguns, and one of the bad guys steps forward and goes, don't worry boys, we outnumber them, they can't kill all of us, let's do this, and runs, and then they just shoot him because nobody got that guy's back, and that guy just dies right away.
It's a 12-gauge pump, boys. It's only got 3 shots. You can't get us all.
And they just are like, okay, and then finally they started to shoot out to help out, but nobody had that guy's back. I don't know if it's his own fault. He didn't go through a plan, or he assumed people would help him, but they didn't. And then we have another scene similar to that where there's a shootout and they kill the one guy, and the other guy just decides to give up. He sees him, he's like, oh shit, and puts his gun up in the air and just surrenders. And then at the end of the movie, George ends up getting his job back by claiming that he just took a test to get his high school diploma and they gave him the job back, which again, why was this something he just did when the guy revealed, the bad guy was like, yeah, you didn't get your high school diploma, so you're going to jail. If it was as easy as him just getting his high school diploma, then why did he have to go through any of this? That made no sense. Those are the scene for Kuffs. Again, Kuffs is just this really weird, typical 90s movie that doesn't really know what it wants to be. But yeah, this movie was just, it's one of the movies that, again, suffers from not knowing the genre it's going to fall under. To add the slapstick to it just made it weird. To have the talking to the camera was unnecessary, and doesn't really vibe with this type of movie. But I'd also like to see a Kuffs sequel, I think, now. I think it's time for a Kuffs sequel. Might be better. Call it back. Bring back Christian Slater. That guy needs a career resurgence. And I think Kuffs 2 is where it's at. And so again, I wouldn't really recommend it, but I mean, if you heard anything you liked, you want to check it out, maybe watch the movie. Again, you can buy it for $3 at your local grocery store, I would assume. Or I don't know how many copies are left. I might have bought the last one, or the only one. Who knows? But yeah, that was Kuffs. So tune in next week for another movie, one of the other $3 ones I bought. Thanks for watching.